Welcome to Dacey's Divas. Hi, I'm your host, Dacey. Today we have a radiant diva out there making a difference in the beauty industry. She is so full of light, brightness, and she's always helping, empowering so many women. Please welcome the founder and owner of AGLOW, Airbrushing Tanning. Hello, Kara Holden.
Daisy, hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You are amazing. I have followed you through the years. We met quite a few years ago, and we're going to talk about your fabulous company. But first, let's talk a little bit about who you are. Let's tell the viewers if they don't know you, Kara.
Thank you. Yes, so I am from a super small town, northern New Hampshire, under 1,500 people. And my father grew up working on farms, and that really runs like in my family. And I knew that one day I kind of wanted to branch out a little more, and I ended up down here outside of the Boston area for school.
Nice.
And then got my degree at UMass Lowell in psychology, and really started to branch out and develop from there, and so exciting.
So you've been in this field, even though you've been in psychology, when you went to UMass Lowell, you have been doing tanning for about 15 years, is that correct, Kara?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a skin cancer scare years back, and thankfully it was benign, nothing serious, but when I realized that the airbrush tanning, sunless tanning was going to be my only option. I looked into that, I found a place, I started going.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found it very addicting because it's so nice and easy to go in. It was such a wonderful experience. And the woman that I started to go and see needed some help. And I started to work for her for a couple of years to help. That was when I was putting myself through school, and
and here you are.
Started from there, grew from there.
So you had a skin cancer scare. You must have been a young girl. I mean, probably in your 20s, correct?
I was in my 20s, yes.
And then you banked on, though, being, you said, okay, let me get my, recheck. You didn't go to the tanning beds. You didn't sit in the sun. So how bad was that in our day? The tanning beds or the sun.
Right?
And
Yes.
no SPF.
No SPF. What is the tinfoil? We got baby oil, iodine. I've heard all the things over the years.
Right? Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
What we do.
I know.
But at least you learned, you said, okay, I've got to not do this. And when you worked with this woman, where was she working? Here in Sudbury, or?
She was in Woburn, actually.
Woburn, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit. We're gonna flash a picture of your dad. Your dad, his name's Stanley. You call him?
Toot.
Okay, so let's before we get here, we go. There's a nice picture of you and your dad. Let's talk a little bit about him and how you started AGLOW.
Yes, my father, with super humble beginnings, we started the business 13 years ago, and both, making sure to give credit to my mom too, both mom and dad played a real integral role in getting the business off the ground. And my father, he built the walls in our tanning studios in 1, 2, ultimately 3 locations. Yeah. And so it was a family affair, and they were really the support that I needed. They were there for me, they supported me, and this business has now become the vehicle for me to be able to support other women to do the same.
Right.
So when he passed away unexpectedly in 2018, that changed things greatly. It's I always say, like, having his presence there, walking into the studios each day and still feeling his presence of him there. The studios are so special. And the photo that I was sharing that was the jacket that he was wearing on the last day that he was in my studio. And I have that picture hanging at home, and it's just so special and surreal he was so supportive. And even for such a business, like my daughter, she's doing what? Spray tanning? Yeah. But he was all in.
So that's amazing, because he was very supportive, and I love a video I had saw on Instagram, you telling the story, and you just telling the story now, and the jacket that you have, and his photo, and that is so important. And he came from humble beginnings, just like my dad. They were farmers, and we're farmers' daughters, and we're very blessed. And now, so you started off your first location. You have how many locations now? 5? 4 or 5?
We have 4.
4 locations, okay. So your original place is in Sudbury?
The original space was in Bedford.
Okay, Bedford. Excuse me, I keep on, okay, yeah, Bedford.
I do live in Sudbury, but yes, in
okay, Bedford.
Yep, and then from there, we opened in Acton. And then from there, actually started doing licensing deals, which transitioned into franchise. And that's how we added our incredible team members.
Yes.
So Danielle and Amy, and now Danielle had the North Andover and the Wyndham studio. And now that turned into Amy, who was originally the manager of North Andover, has taken over, and she is now the owner of the North Andover location. And Danielle still has her Wyndham studio.
And Danielle was another diva on the show. She's amazing.
Amazing.
A young mom, and she works for you, and very hardworking. So we got to give a big shout out to Danielle.
Big shout out, absolutely.
So how many employees do you have working for you? They're all women.
Yeah, oh goodness, probably on the team with the 4 studios, it's got to be like close to 20 or so now.
That many? Here's your crew. What a beautiful group of women. And I love, what's your theme? It's always white, always gold?
Yes, we're keeping it classy.
Yes.
Classy, simple but classy.
Yep.
Clean, elegant, yes,
elegant.
The whites, the pops of gold. Neutral colors, yeah.
Now you're also, I call you now the airbrush mixologist. You
love it.
literally come up with your own. Tell us about it. So it's gluten free, correct? Tell us a little bit about what you're. Here you are. You're mixing everything up. But what is your product made of? Your tanning solution.
Yes. So it is a all natural food grade based solution. Gluten-free, nut-free, soy-free, vegan, alcohol-free, paraben-free, cruelty-free, hypoallergenic. And when I started the business, the woman that I was sharing that I worked for originally was using Mandy's product. And Mandy, who I call my bi-coastal bestie because she's over in Seattle, I connected with her and said, I'm about to start a business and I'd love to create a private line. Can we work on this together? Is it something you'd be interested in? And she was like, yes, absolutely. So together we co-created this line, and just over the years, just innovating to make it cleaner, healthier, natural.
I love
and
that.
It's something where all the things are coming out now about, all this artificial dyes, and you don't really think, we're like, well, I'm not ingesting, right? I'm just spraying on the skin, but 60% of what is sprayed, what is added to the skin is actually ingested in the bloodstream, which then reaches the organs. So it's really, really important to keep everything as clean and natural as possible.
Right. Now you just came back because you went to go test. Now how do you keep up, like every month, every 6 months, like a new formula do you have to come up with, or?
We are always like innovating and coming up with new things, and so this was another great training session. I usually try to go a handful of times a year or so, and it's so much fun, always coming up with new things. And one of our latest things is the espresso solution.
I saw that.
Promoted a lot about, like, what is this? Which many will call like the coffee tan. And so that is just another way of, again, removing fragrance, keeping it all natural, but it doesn't smell like a tan. It's freshly brewed espresso beans added to the mix. And a lot of other solutions have used nuts in it to produce a more brown effect, but we've always remained nut-free. And so in an effort to continue that.
And why not free? But don't you have the coffee beans?
The coffee beans, but the nut-free as far as like the peanut, the allergies of the kids, and like you have to keep that out of the daycares and the schools and stuff. So with the beans, now we just brew that real strong, and it's added to the solution at the end, and it helps to create a more brown appearance, and also just smells amazing. So that you walk in the studios, it doesn't smell like a tanning salon, it smells like a cafe.
That's wonderful.
So.
You're such an entrepreneur. Amazing. Now, when I come in, what do I do? What is the procedure? I saw the procedure, but why don't you tell the viewers the procedure? Do I have to do anything before? Can I use my baby oil or whatever? You can't use any of that stuff, correct?
Correct. Yep. We want to skip the Dove. We want to skip the baby oil, and just exfoliating before. We have a mitt you can get in studio, but a good exfoliation beforehand, removing some of those dead skin cells that are about to shed and turn over. Then you start with a blank, fresh canvas and come in, and we'll give a consultation. And everyone's skin tone is different, and I know you hear oftentimes of, but is it going to be orange? Is it going to be? It's really just having that proper education to know that every skin tone is different and what is going to be the most complementary to your skin tone and what you're looking for your desired results.
And it's so natural. It only takes, 15 minutes to put it on?
Yeah.
It's so quick.
In and out. Yep.
And it doesn't get on your clothes, correct?
Correct, yes. We want to wear the loose, dark clothing after, because you immediately, as you apply the solution, there is a bronzer in it, and that's for that immediate gratification. You're like, I can see my tan already. Yeah. But then once you rinse off, then you're good to go.
And you have big clients. You are from Miss United States, correct? Miss Teen?
In the pageant, yes,
all the
we
pageants.
are.
So
Yes.
you are the official tanning people for them,
Little
correct?
sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah, so fun, so fun.
So that's great. And I also saw where you mentor women. Tell me a little bit about you. You just went to a seminar, or what was it, like maybe a couple months ago in September? I can't remember.
Oh, there was
A lot.
the women. There's
Yes.
been a few different things, yes. And there's like a women's conference that we took part in. There's one that's been in Nashville, and one that we were the sponsor for, a title sponsor for back. That was in Charleston.
That's great.
And it's so wonderful. Leave there so lit up, like the energy is so potent. For
Right.
the
And everybody's
panel is like
empowering each other.
Yeah, amazing.
When is the best time to do it? When is the busiest time that people are tanning now? Is it the winter months? Is it around the holidays? Does it die down in the summer?
I love that you said that, because that is what everyone typically thinks. And it's actually the opposite. People are like, why am I going and tanning in the warmer months? I can go outside, but that's where you're also showing the most skin. And when you think of like pedicures or whatever, I'm like, oh, sometimes I kind of quiet down on those in the cooler months if I'm wearing all the socks and the boots, but you ramp that up in the warmer months. And that's the same thing with tanning, is I'm showing more skin. I've got weddings, I've got graduations and proms and all that. So it's easy to come in versus waiting for the weekend and then going out and laying out and waiting to get color. A more natural and healthy approach. You're in and out in 15 minutes, and then you're good to put your shorts on and your dresses and
That's great. And you're good to go.
And good to go.
You're ready to glow.
Ready to glow. I love
that.
it. You're good.
Let me think now. You had mentioned about your dad. Did you want to talk about the John Deere? That was a nice story that you told me.
Yeah, so special. He, although it's something that's surrounding his passing, it's so special because it's not one that I've really talked about before, but he was working for a local farmer back home on the day that he passed unexpectedly. And he was, as you said, on a John Deere tractor. And when he passed, I just know him so well that he would, I could hear him like in my head just saying like do it for someone else, like pay it forward to someone else. And so as far as a memorial, like, you know, it's like with donations for his funeral, I said, let's raise some money and make a donation, and how can we best serve him?
I love
and everyone, clients that had come in that I've connected with over the years from day one, they knew about my father and building the studio and the space and those humble beginnings, and they wanted to donate. And I said, anyone who donates, I will match that kind of in a GLOW credit. So if you donate $50, well, you've got a $50 credit for your next appointment. And so people just like, absolutely, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, paying that forward. So we were able to raise a significant amount of money, and for my sister and I at his service, were able to give those donations to some of the local business owners back home, and it felt incredible. And within just 24 to 48 hours, I can't make this up, it's so special, the insurance company called, and it was for the policy for the family that he was working for, the farmers, and they said, I heard that your father was working for so-and-so at the time of his passing, is that correct? And I said, yes. And they said, well, they have an insurance policy in place for him for X amount of dollars that covered all burial expenses, funeral arrangements, headstones, everything.
That's wonderful.
And it was the same amount that we had just raised and donated. Yeah. I mean, talk about letting you pay it forward, and I just couldn't believe that, wow, how special. We had just raised and gave that money away, and it came right back to him. Yeah. And my mom told me, she'd given me a little, it's from my grandmother who had passed before I was born, but it's a lamination that I keep on my fridge. And it says, it's in her handwriting, and she wrote it and gave it to my mom in 1965, and it says, life is the mirror of king and slave. It's just what you say and do. So give the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. And I felt like that was such a wonderful example. And my dad was like,
I love that.
Forward, do it for me. And then it came right back, and it was just so special. Like,
it is special. It is special. I love that story. I had to bring that up because we were talking before, and I just love that story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me.
What is one of your favorite experiences at AGLOW? Do you remember like a favorite, either a client or an experience?
There's too many to name. It's too many. It's always such a wonderful experience, like at the studio, and growing over the years, like growing that team, growing the team.
Yes.
I mean, what can you do alone? You can't do anything great alone. It's all about the women that you surround yourself with, and Danielle and Amy and my manager Rachel and all of our team members. It's
Working
just
together.
just working together, and it's so special as we have like a shared app that we communicate in. And so whether it's me in the studio or whether it's them, we're constantly communicating in the app, and we're hearing those fun stories. Oh my gosh, we love X client. She was just in tanning for this, or her son just got into this college, or they've got this wonderful family vacation, or this promotion. And so it's so special.
So it's a part of a family.
It's a family.
And you're involved.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's great. You
So
have a
rewarding.
great business. I mean, to open your own business, and it's scary, isn't it? What would you say to women that want to have a dream and open up their own business?
I would say you just got to go for it. You've got to bet on yourself, but really.
You had a great support system,
great support system.
Right.
Yeah, family and friends and team members and other women business owners, and just it's really about kind of, instead of thinking about having like this imposter syndrome, which I feel like I've always struggled with to some degree. It's kind of like, well, you know what? Whether it's the first speaking engagement or whatever, these things, it's like, no, you're not an imposter. You're simply a beginner, right? You haven't done it before, so it's not that you're an imposter anyway. You've got to start somewhere,
right,
and it'll only go up from there. And so take that advice and put that, whatever your passion is and whatever business you're looking to start, and just be like, don't be so hard on yourself. You're just a beginner. Get rid of those self-limiting beliefs and go for it.
I love that. That's great advice. Don't you think that also, if women don't know where to start, social media actually is great. They'll show you how to do different things.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that? Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Great tools, and really can just connect you with the right people. And oh my gosh, yeah, it's come so far. It's been huge. I know when I first started, people are like I just said earlier, like, what is spray tanning?
Yeah, right.
But now it's really become like that much more. We've grown such a larger community because of it, but it's been through a lot of the social media and educating on what we do. And
important. Educating is so important, and I love that. You're always out there educating every day on your Instagram accounts and your Facebook accounts, and that is so important. What is the age group? Is it basically all women, or do men come to you too?
We do have a few men. A lot of it is going to be like the women that have come first, and then they're like, bring the husband in, whether it's for a wedding or a vacation or a little event or something like that. So, and then it's so funny because the guys will come in and they'll play it cool, like, yeah, I mean, my wife made the appointment and stuff. But then when they come walking out, they're like, oh,
this is nice.
This is kind of nice. Yeah.
I think a tan
fun.
makes you feel great.
It sure does.
Doesn't it? It just, a little color always makes you feel good about yourself.
It really does.
Yeah.
It sure does, and that's what's so fun when it's someone's first time. Is you're walking them through it. When they come in, they're feeling a little uncomfortable. At some level, you have to undress to a certain degree, whatever you're comfortable with. But to then see them walk out, they got a little tan line going. They see themselves as soon as they pop out of the room. The mirrors are there, and like, they are walking out with their head held so high and feeling so empowered and confident. And it's like, yeah, you go crush those girls. Go get it, whatever they're tanning for. Maybe just daily life, that's fine.
Right.
But it just feels so good after. Someone could walk in and be kind of bummed with something that happened for their day, but by the time they leave the studio, and that's what my girls and the team and why it continues to grow, is they're like, man, I have other jobs that I do, but nothing as rewarding as this.
Yeah. Passionate.
Passion, yeah.
You're so passionate, all of you.
Oh, yeah. It's so true. Shared value for sure.
Who's a role model for a woman in your life, Kara?
A role model for me in my life that she never got to hear this, but is my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
She was my only living grandparent growing up, and she passed before I started the business, but this is my dad's mother, and they had a family inn, they had a Holden general store, they had a country gas store, so they were
She was a businesswoman also.
She was a businesswoman, and my grandfather passed away, and she had to still raise the 3 kids and run the general store, and she's so incredibly inspiring.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Oh,
A remarkable woman. What's her name?
Velma.
What was it?
Velma.
Oh, Velma. I like
Velma
that.
Holden, yes.
If you had a magic wand, what would you wish for the young women out there today in this type of environment?
To know their worth and stand strong in that, and trust your gut and trust your intuition. I feel like I haven't shared a lot in the personally besides my father in passing, but there has been loss, there has been heartbreak, there's been so many changes in my life over the last 6 years. But I think really trusting in your gut and knowing, you can never find peace in a place standing in a bunch of ruins of what used to be. And so the best thing you can do is just pick yourself up and move forward and start something new. And when you take that aligned action, the universe will deliver. And so even though things have changed quite a bit, it's all been for the best and the right reason, and just trusting in yourself.
That's great.
Believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Even when others didn't.
That's wonderful advice. I love that. Believing in yourself is so important, and have your self-worth. That is so great, Kara.
And being able to serve, like with the business is just, it's so rewarding just being able to serve like others and make them feel good, because then it's just a ripple effect, right? Then their heads held high,
Right.
they feel great, they want to go out and tackle their goals.
Yeah.
They want to tell other people about you too, so the business can continue to grow because they feel so good about what you're doing. And it's just so rewarding.
And it gives you self-worth. We need that.
Absolutely.
Do you have a great friends too that you surround yourself? You have a balance, great friends?
So lucky, finding how they say your vibe attracts your tribe. So Danielle coming into my life and being such a beautiful light. Courtney Little, another close friend that, of course, your vibe attracting your tribe. Courtney was a client. I was a client of hers. Dee became a client of Courtney. Amy, who's our other franchisee, owner of the North Andover studio, she was friends with Dee in a separate way that I was friends with Amy, and we all get connected, and it's just, then just bringing another one on. It's just that putting out that good energy, well, it's going to bring you the right people.
Right. And you're all business-minded, so you bounce off ideas.
It's
How important is
awesome.
that?
So fun and so important. You leave every conversation like lit up, and you're like, thank you, oh my gosh, I'm going to take that new information and run with it. And if you feel that you can provide something of substance to support them, even better.
You're like the perfect boss.
I don't know about that.
Open up in that glow just because I can have you.
Sign me up.
I know. Are you any future plans with AGLOW? We can't really talk. We have some exciting news in 225, which I can't wait to hear about it. And but do you feel you'll open up more AGLOWs around the Merrimack Valley? Is it hard to buy into the franchise?
So nope, not hard. But what I feel like that we have coming that's super excited about is our team is really about to just start a new chapter that will really further catalyze our
I can't
brand's
wait.
growth and visibility. It's really exciting things, and the ability to have this many other sunless entrepreneurs to have an amazing product to be able to create a rewarding career along with financial stability.
And that's what you're doing. You're not only helping women, you're men too, but you are a businesswoman, but you're helping all these other women own their businesses and giving back to the community, which you have in your charitable endeavors, correct?
You as well. Huge inspiration. So.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? We're wrapping up. Can you believe it, Kara?
Oh, it went by so fast. My goodness. I just want to say thank you to you for the amazing platform that you give. Danielle, myself, Maya, all these other, Kate, and the other ones that I know that I'm familiar with, and giving us this incredible platform to be able to tell our story, speak our truth, empower, encourage other women. I mean, I feel like how beautiful is it as a woman in business to be supported by other women? I mean, together we rise. So thank you.
Important. So important. Well, I have to give you my traditional Godiva chocolate for the diva in you. You are certainly the diva.
Oh, goodness, thank you. Oh,
And if
so
anyone
sweet.
knows a beautiful diva like Kara Holden, please get your glow on with her. I want to thank you for watching Dacey's Diva. Thank you, and we will see you soon.